Hey peeps, what's up? Mick of the day, which is basically the mentally ill celebrity. That's going to be John Fetterman. Senator John Fetterman, man. I got to tell you, I love it. The fact that he took on a job knowing that he has his issues dealing with depression. He's got a great support system, and they knew as well as he knew himself that he needed to get some help. But instead of lying to everyone and hiding it, he told the truth. The people that voted for him and supported him knew the senator they were voting for. They knew the guy that we're getting. And he, in return, is showing everyone the respect by being transparent. So my kudos for you, Senator John Fetterman. Thank you, man. Mick of the day. Now, tonight's subject is a touchy one for me, man, because it never really occurred to me or hit me until like 1984, 8th grade, about, I'm guessing, labeling someone's sexuality. Now, my experience is at the same time that my hormones are kicking in and I'm trying to figure things out and I have no clue. And you don't get a real good clue until your mid 20s when you're a man. And by that time, you lose it anyway. So, all in all, you jump into these things. And when you have a mental issue occurring at the same time as your hormones do, you really don't understand the things going on around you because you're focused and you've got issues developing as well. So, these labels that I'm talking about, I'm just going to put right here LGBTQIA. All right. Now, you know, the this, like I said, this is touchy for me because the Fibonacci sequence in numerical value is the same as the sequence of letters in the English language. Um, the reason being is that a lot of these didn't come up until like 10 years ago or 20 years ago, I think, because I never paid attention. These are labels given to individuals who freely know who they are and what they're about. So they don't need everyone's opinions or judgment on who they love. The heart is the heart. Okay? Now, in great societies or civilizations and cultures that were based on philosophy, never had these issues. Also, based on a religious structure that was multi-god. Okay, so you've got more than one deity to, pray to, so I guess you can do more freely. I don't know. The concept is so, like I said, when you're free to be who you need or want to be, your world is so much better. I mean, all those walls come down and then you can concentrate on being a better you. But when you have mental illness or a trauma about, let's say, these labels that are out there, I mean, there are a lot of people who have lost their lives because someone thought they were gay. It's just as bad as racism. And you hear the stories, you see it on the news, and you you talk to people close to you about these subjects. But for me, I feel like I'm actually disrespecting those out there who choose to, I don't know, live their lives and being labeled for it. My generation is one of those generations that were really bad about calling individuals of a different, you know, sexual need and want. I mean, it's confusing to me at times when. All right, I'll give an example. A long time ago, I was working at a music store. I was managing it, and we would get a lot of different individuals coming in at all hours of the day and night. Well, there was a gentleman that would come in, and he was 6'9", big black gentleman. Okay, and he was so much fun. But when he first started coming in, my boss would introduce me all the time because John knew that his kink was big, dumb white boys. That was his thing. So John would push him on me. And we would have fun because John warned me. He let me know. He didn't want to set me up for that, but he let me know what was going on. So we played along. And it got so fun because at one point I would get upset if he didn't flirt with me. And that was the ongoing joke for months on end. And that's why I get very angry when I hear all the negative labeling, all the negative thoughts, and it just there's no sense in it. Because if you want to go down and break it down, the lesbian community, oh, God bless you all. I love lesbians. Any red blood American male growed up in my generation, yeah, God bless you. And I also got to tell you too that I understand fully that I have seen women in a public setting telling men that they are lesbian just to get out of certain relationships or situations. And kudos for you on that, because nothing hurts a man more than being told that you're the reason why she's turning gay. Okay. Anyways, the gay community. I love the gay community. Oh, queer. Okay, gay, queer. I've always come to an understanding it's homosexual community guys. Okay, and that's I'm cool with that. And every time I've had a lot of gay men friends that have given me a lot of pointers in relationships. Some of them I took, and some of them I didn't, and I should have taken the ones that I didn't. But anyways, common sense. When you hang around people who know and understand who they are deep inside, you automatically feel it when they present themselves to you. You see that release, that like the weight of the world is off of their shoulders. For an example, I was at a bar and I was with some friends. One of the gentlemen were gay. We were sitting around talking, listening to music, and a redneck dumbass comes up to us and he looks at my friend and he goes, "Hey, I hear such and such. Are you good at such and such?" Okay. I went into a rage because I was already 3 sheets to the wind. But my friend held back. He told me flat out, let it be, because he knew that the guy was ignorant and he was drunk. It wasn't worth it, you know. And I should have let it go, but I egged the guy on, and I did some stupid things by, well, I apologized to my friend later that night for what I felt was disrespecting him. I felt like I needed to protect him. And all in all, he was protecting me, you know? And so, it, when you get ignorance and labels, it, I thank God that the generations that are coming about here now, the ones that are actually starting to vote and make a difference, the ones that are getting into the colleges and coming out, graduating, please, for the love of God, keep going, because you guys are getting rid of these labels. I'm looking at these younger generations that are establishing a better future for their family, for their loved ones. I'm seeing a big difference. I mean, these labels that are giving the new ones, the I is intersex and then the other is asexual. Okay? Whether you want to have sex or not, whether you want to have it with man, woman, whoever, animal, it's up to you. Hell, you have to understand that our laws are still based on morals and church from 1800s. You know it's illegal to have anal sex. Why do you think in the 1800s, you know? But why do you think there was such a big problem with the homosexual community? Well, it was against the law. I mean, have they ever changed any of those laws? Which basically gave everyone the right to beat anyone up that loved somebody of the opposite sex, or the same sex, sorry. Like I said, it's mind-boggling. And there is so much judgment. As soon as, you see somebody or something that you're taught throughout your life that is bad, you judge automatically. Boom, there it is. You see a lot of it in my generation and older that they still judge on sight until they realize what's going on. It's automatic. It's like in our genes because it's been there our entire lives. Our morals basically is what is labeling everyone. And our morals, even though the great United States of America was established, separating church and state, yeah, I'm sorry, but you still are basing laws on morality. Okay? Even judgment, even though you have all the facts there, you're still going to be, you're human. Okay? Now, if you were to give the facts to a human and the same facts to a computer, you're going to get a totally different answer. Okay? And that's the way these labels, they're just, to me, it's evil. I label myself as poor white trash. I'm mentally ill, and I've got a slew of mental illnesses that I deal with on a daily basis. And I'm trying my best to get rid of all the negative out of my life. But I still see it, and every day, even in everyday conversations that we have, you're automatically labeling, and you're automatically putting people in a certain column in your life, and judgment comes no matter what you do. Okay, so it's so hard for you to fight it. Instead of fighting it, realize it. Okay, say, yeah, okay, boom, that just hit me. Okay, Why? You figure out why, and you figure out a solution to it. A lot of people with mental health issues are focused in so many ways that it's hard to get those sidetracked, that those off ramps from your highway. And what I mean by that is your highway is basically all your emotions, your chemistry, everything in your brain is going through, and your off ramps are where your chemistry is going to make your body react or to do things. So your highway is cluttered. So your mind makes off ramps. So if you're focused on your highway, you should start working on these off ramps so you can get the clutter out of your mind and focus on what is needed. Now, when you are trying to do these things with a mental health issue, a mental illness, your mind does things in a different way than people understands. And it's hard because everybody does their own thing in their own way. There is no normal. There can't be. Okay, so it is up to you to figure out a way to focus and get rid of things that are negative at the same time. And a lot of times, I got to tell you, it's struggling. It really is, because it's an everyday process. Your mind is going to do everything it can to stop you. Okay? So these labels that keep coming at you over and over again, they're like bombardments from a ongoing army. You know, you're being sieged. And the only way to stop it is to come full circle, become truthful to yourself, realize who you really are. Now, once those walls come down, then these labels will have no meaning to you whatsoever. But to those out there that are trying to figure out who they are, along with the mental illness that is stopping them, that is a long, hard road. You cannot do it alone, man. Okay? It's plain and simple, you can't. Being alone, especially if you don't understand who you are sexually, because at an age, man, especially when your hormones are kicking in and you have a mental illness kicking in, your highway is full. Okay? You need to talk it out. You have to. In order to better organize what's going on in your life, you've got to figure out, and talking to somebody, bouncing things off left and right to different individuals that you trust. Okay? Because these newer generation kids that are coming up have a better understanding and better grasp of what each other are going through. It's not like in my day where, you know, everything was secluded in thought and you had to figure out your own fantasies and your own sexuality. It was basically given to you. If you were a boy, you're a boy. If you're a girl, you're a girl. You like each other. Okay? Well, not so much. That's not basic. Nothing like that ever is. So, when you're coming up, trying to figure out who you are sexually, you're also going to get some painful trauma to come along with it. Some people understand what I'm talking about. Others got lucky and weren't molested or raped. Okay, but we all hear the stories. And those are life-changing events. And those too can be very traumatic through the rest of your life if you did not deal with it. And something like that, I guess you can never really deal with. But anyways, back to the labeling department. I have love and respect for anyone who is able to get past the barriers and find out who they truly are. It doesn't matter who you have sex with. If your heart and your mind are involved, your body is going to follow. Trust me, I'm a man. If my mind is not into it or my heart isn't into it, my body is not going to be into it. Okay? So, it all depends on you. It's just these labels were given to us by people growing up on morals taught to them from 3,000 years ago. So, all in all, my thing is our morality should have evolved just like technology, just like civilization. 3,000-year-old morality issues are still plaguing us today. So, to you all LBGs, TQIAs, God bless you all. Keep it up, please. And I'm sorry on behalf of Port White Trash. I really am. Okay. So now, the movie that I picked for today, it's The Woman King on Netflix. It was a damn good movie. Viola Davis, I can't believe she's getting pushed aside. She should get the Best Actress, the Oscar, hands down. Viola Davis kicked ass in this movie, man. The whole cast was great. And the thing with this movie is when I was watching it, I could not put myself in the movie because I have no experience, with the ancient African culture. I've done some research with Axiom, but no in-depth background. But the ancient African culture was a beautiful, very beautiful culture. So the movie in itself I couldn't get into, so I think I enjoyed it even more through the acting and the storyline. So my hands down, kudos to this movie. It was an excellent, excellent movie. So, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, I'd like to say goodbye, good luck, God peace, love you, bye-bye.